Hello there and welcome to Chia Diaries. So I will be showing you what I ate in my second week of this vegan challenge of mine, and for all the recipes that I've shared you can definitely check the description box. So before we begin, I wanted to give a shout out to this week's vegan YouTube channel, and that is Toni Mitchell. If you are familiar with the natural hair channel My Natural Sisters, Toni is one of the trio of those sisters, and she has a really nice fitness and vegan lifestyle YouTube channel which I love to watch. So if you're interested, definitely do check her out. So for breakfast I went with a smoothie, and I added one ripe banana, not too ripe though, just semi, as well as a quarter of an avocado, a small avocado, and a handful of spinach. I also added about 3/4 of a cup of unsweetened almond milk, and I added some ice cubes to my smoothie. So I prefer to use ice cubes because I like the slightly diluted, drink smoothies. If you want something thicker, you want a creamier smoothie, definitely opt to use frozen bananas, whatever frozen fruit you might use in place of the ice. Then at this point I realized that I had forgotten to add some chia seeds, so those are the chia seeds I was showing you there. So I added a tablespoon of chia seeds, which makes the smoothie quite chewy. If you're not about that life, you can even use less than that. And this was my breakfast. It was nice, but it's not necessarily like a very tasty smoothie, but it tastes like good health and good decisions. That's all I'll say. So it made me happy and made me feel like I was doing something right for my body, and it was very filling. So for lunch I wanted to prep some white beans for the week, and I measured about 500 grams of white beans and added some water to soak for 8 to 12 hours, and then I thought I was going to cook it, but I hadn't left proper instructions. So by the time I got home later on during the day, I found that it had already been cooked for me, which was perfectly fine. So that's why I don't have a recipe video, but it was quite nice. He had curry and everything, and I ate this along with vegetables with either shima or rice throughout the week. So for lunch I opted to make just a nice clean salad with some cherry tomatoes, an apple, a carrot, and some cucumber, as well as chia seeds, and this salad dressing that happens to be vegan because I did not want to make my own, so really glad I found this brand. Then I also had some kale that I used as my base for greens. So this was my first time, confession, eating kale. Like, it's something I always ignore, and everybody on YouTube said that in order for you to enjoy kale you have to massage it for at least 5 minutes just to break it down and make it easy to digest. So that is what I was doing here, and after 5 minutes that is what it looked like. I then chopped up all the fruit and vegetables from before, and then I added a teaspoon of chia seeds, as well as the salad dressing and some salt to taste. I then tossed everything, and later on I realized that I should have added the kale to toss as well, but I wanted to put the vegetables and fruit on a bed of kale. Like, idiotic move. I should have made sure that the kale was incorporated with the salad dressing and everything, just to make it sweeter, because it was bitter AF. I did not like the kale at all. I then added some of that beans on top to make this a white bean salad, and it was quite tasty, the kale, and I quite enjoyed it. So the next day I had, one more serving left. And this time, like I just mixed everything. There is some beans in there in case you can see it. And the kale tasted better the second time around with the, like with the salad dressing being incorporated into it better. And then I just added like a few chunks of brown bread. I was having a very lazy afternoon, but that's what I ate for lunch and it was okay. It kept me going. So for dessert, I just opted for something really, really simple. I wanted a fruit bowl. So I chopped one banana as well as one red apple. And then I squeezed the juice out of one orange. And then I added just a bit of maple syrup. Mixed that. And then poured it over my apples and bananas, and that was my dessert. So I ate this fruit 2 hours after lunch. It's important, to eat fruit 1 hour before a meal or at least 2 hours after. So just that I should add that in, and that was my dessert. So for dinner, I wanted to make brown rice pilau. So there's some brown rice there, long grain brown rice, which has been washed, as well as some green beans, a carrot, garlic, tomato, onion, some sweet peas there, some sweet corns rather. That was pilau masala that I just showed you there, some curry powder, some paprika, some ginger powder, and some tomato paste. So I first heated 2 tablespoons of oil. Please don't worry about my pot, just don't worry about it. Let's concentrate on the cooking. So I added 1 chopped clove of garlic with 1 chopped red tomato and fried it in that oil for a bit until it was cooked. And then I added 1 chopped carrot and fried that as well for a bit. Once it was slightly cooked, I went ahead and added my spices. So I first got half a teaspoon of paprika powder and added that, and half a teaspoon of ginger powder. I then got 1 teaspoon of pilau masala. Unfortunately, I get this from Kenya. I haven't found it locally. Oh, and then 1 teaspoon of curry powder as well, which is, you can find that everywhere. And then, I just mix it everything, and the pilau masala does help the vegetables, get darker. And then I added 1 chopped tomato and fried that as well. So when you're cooking this, you might be afraid. Okay, so there's 1 tablespoon of tomato paste that I added there. And then I just fried that for a bit, mixed it, and then let it cook for 1 minute covered. So yeah, as I was saying, it might look a bit burnt, but it helps with the browning of the rice to give it that nice color, in case anyone's wondering. So I just added the rice, fried everything together. And then I added the green beans that I had now chopped, as well as the sweet corn. And then I mixed everything. So I should have added salt at this point, but I forgot. So I got 1 stock cube and then mixed it with 2 cups of hot water to make my vegetable stock, and I just poured those 2 cups into my pot. So with pilau, as I have come to learn, you really have to make sure that you cook it on very low heat. So I would just demonstrate. If you have a stove like this, it was on 6 there when I was frying everything, but then I turned it down to 2. So it was cooking on low heat, and every 5 minutes I would check on it just to make sure it wasn't sticking to the bottom. And this is what it looks like after 10 minutes. Then after 50 minutes, I remembered that I hadn't added salt. So I did add some salt to taste here. This is after 20 minutes. And then I covered it one last time. So it took about 25 minutes to cook, as you will soon see. And then once the 25 minutes was up, I was just showing you that I let it sit for 10 minutes without uncovering it, and I just removed it from the heat and let it sit for 10 minutes before I served it. And this was my dinner. I really liked the pilau. It was nice. Then I added some soya pieces for protein. I haven't yet figured out how to cook soya pieces on my own and make them taste nice. So when I do, I will share that recipe. So yeah, I will just show you that I ate them with soya pieces and some leftover chihuahua I think that I found in the fridge. And this was my dinner. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll just show you a recap of everything that I prepared for you in my second week. I hope you enjoyed this video, if you've been following along, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.